That sounds exotic though, Bruce. Discreet.
Discreet.
Discreet, that really sounded
Really?
cool.
Yeah.
Well, Lyle was going to call Johnson
Hi,
Control.
sweetheart. 554
Is there a Coulter said his office was really
4077.
ours?
I thought it was smoking hot.
Shut it down every year.
You shut it
We shut it down on Labor Day all the time.
Okay, you shut it down later.
Yeah, it's shut down.
No. 554
After the meeting.
4077.
Lyle,
Morning before we went
did you ever talk to Johnson Control?
Okay.
No?
Sure.
Okay. She's just said,
feedback. I know we'll be back tomorrow to get his. And
Maybe tonight.
there's one too on Jay Watson.
she said that it feels like hers hasn't been on all day either.
Because we're past due on it.
Yeah, of course.
And then there's a
I
critic.
know, and I said I thought it felt fine upstairs, and she said she thought it was hot when she came upstairs.
I don't want to pay interest. So
Yeah, for sure.
anyway.
Yeah, no worries. It works.
How are you? Just ducky? It's not fair. It's not fair.
These both on silent. The last Friday I wasn't here.
I thought Friday was when you.
I think that was coming back coming. I was flying home on Sunday.
No,
Monday.
last.
Last Friday.
Well, the 7th or whatever that was.
God, I'd been
The
back
6th.
then. So yeah.
But,
Roy
well,
said he got
first of
kinda
all,
strung
I get those from you occasionally, and I get them from Father Lucas
Did he get one?
occasionally.
This thing back.
I'm just wondering which phone they're trying to come across from.
That was on my council.
There.
I was just trying to get on.
My father-in-law
Something popped up with his name on it.
and,
I told him
and
I might have phoned
Sounds
for it,
very
except that it
dry.
asked me to do a discreet
Kay has some appointments, so I'm actually
No.
on deck to take her.
Discreet waiver. I don't want to even know.
No, neither did I. I didn't even open it. It popped up.
Bother.
The screen popped
But
up.
I won't know till the last minute. 'Cause Jenny might be able to take her.
Yeah, that door needs a little.
If I don't show up,
Really?
I get all mad.
Better step in quick. It's going to keep you moving along. Get out of the way.
Try to get this to fire up. Doesn't like my router for some reason.
Did you see we had a little tiny bit of lightning this afternoon?
I didn't see it.
We really don't need any of that in our neighborhood.
Nope, none.
They had Maya, they took him up the golf course. She had to get off the golf course.
You know, it doesn't have
They were
lightning.
having practice.
It didn't last very long, but it was kind
No.
of like they're flashing around.
But where? Here? Usually we have Johnson Control, and I don't know who did it before. If Long messed with it or not.
Randy told me that it was something else, but
I have no idea.
Johnson controlled a couple times, they did okay, but this last time, doesn't appear that they did anything.
And probably, unfortunately, nobody. I was gone when they were here at training, and if you weren't up there, then there was nobody for them to talk to.
Yeah, like I said, I talked to him. I don't know what else you need to know other than
Be sure.
not blowing air.
Right.
But, I mean, I don't know what he
But they could have told us.
Yeah, look, he
You'd
was
have to
there,
leave
like I
because you
said,
don't
so he
have
just
parts.
left. He didn't come back.
Key and boots like
He didn't
that.
say anything.
I'll meet
Well,
you.
they didn't
I know
know.
we had one of the furnaces replaced over in the Lincoln building, and Sheet Metal Specialty said that because they were all electric furnaces over there. But it's always been usually Johnson Control on this unit up here.
We'll figure that out tomorrow.
It's going to cool off.
There was another.
I see the bid for the apartments. They want that backup generator.
Outrageous. Well, they're outrageous. I thought they had one from the farm. Is that
No,
on
that's
the-
not one we worked on. Well, remember, we used to tinker with it.
There was one for the center that's over. They just replaced it, but they sent one out on the end of the Barber Apartments. ECI put it in a couple of years ago, unless it's down and not working.
Still didn't see any
Way Vicky put it is Bob. Patchwork. And they want, oh my God, I've been.
Oh, they're outrageous. Remember KW, how much wattage they need there? But they had one out on the end of the building, but usually you can't put one in to run everything.
But they were
Usually put them
trying
in
to
for
set it.
emergency lighting and your heating and stuff.
Yeah, they were wanting to say so it'd work, turn everything on, the elevator and all that. Of
Oh.
course, it's going to cost a lot.
No, you
They
don't want
put
to
that new elevator in.
Just so you guys know, I put these, made you guys another copy of this because when I scanned it with the packet, I scanned one-sided, and this actually has a
picture on the back of it.
and another quote.
Oh, two bids?
It's required to have two bids, so.
If you can get them.
Well, when I was looking at them,
Looks to me like we had,
Okay, Tyler Walker.
There's one bid on the back, the one you have in your right hand.
Oh, okay.
okay,
Oh, tree bead.
Yeah.
now I understand.
Get it?
This guy's good.
Just hit
He
me in
does
the
his school.
Yeah.
Really good.
Howdy, John. How's it going? Well, moving along. That's because the original one didn't have a back page for it. Some of those pictures came in on the back and they didn't print on the original. So all the pictures today. I'm glad to see people are interested in taking care of their trees. It's good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Now we'll meet at the bingo.
on this one, don't have anything to do.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, that doesn't have anything, except that she lives in that area.
Did you catch a lot of fish?
We did all right. We didn't have the greatest weather to get out on the ocean. There was a big storm in the Bay of Alaska, so it really made the sea rough. But we got out.
I'm going to limit you.
Got out a few times. We got a really good. We got some good halibut. We got some reds and a few silver caught. The silver numbers are way down.
Okay. Don't you guys fish up the outlets too?
Oh yeah,
The business, the breeding.
yeah. We fish all over. Just we were fishing a deep hole for this time of year
Get
out,
that done.
just out into the inlet out of Homer for our halibut this time because they usually come in there. It's a hole. It's about 300 foot deep, so it's fun to crank them up from there.
Not bad. I know they're dangerous old trees and they get older, their branches do the funky things. And I don't trust them. So I got one in my backyard.
We did all right with
That
that.
was smart.
So they're brought home.
You see, I'm figuring out
100 pounds of fish. What? That fly. That takes a week to drive up there.
I know.
Take 4 hard days to drive. And right now it'd be tough because of all the fire. I usually drive up
Face
to
it, I would.
Banff to Jasper and down to
That tree up at the golf course.
St. George or Prince George and on up through British BC, but there's been a huge fire in the top of the Banff Jasper National Park, and it burnt over 2/3 of the city of Jasper down to the ground. So getting around there, you'd have to be a long ways around up to Grand Prairie and over to Dawson City, and we got some big forest fires up in that country, so, no, I fly.
I didn't know if you were going to.
I fly directly. I fly from here to Denver,
scary doing
5.5 hour flight from Denver to Anchorage, and then jump on the little one over to Kenai.
Yeah, that's those jobs can do that to you. Can't they? All you need is you just load up and go someplace in Saudi. Yeah, well, so do we. We haven't done much playing either. We've never had our camper out this summer. I can't believe that.
You didn't?
Never was. I cannot believe that. That's what I say too. That's like really, really bad.
Do the presentation before.
That's right. We still got the whole coming up pretty soon.
Yeah?
I'm amazed how hot it stays.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. Would you please rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance with us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any additions or deletions?
No.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the August 26, 2024 council meeting minutes?
I move that we approve the August 26, 2024 council meeting.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing nothing, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. We'll move on to reports. Councilman Moulton.
Not much, just still getting ready for Fall Fest, so it's coming.
In a hurry.
But yep, that's about it.
Okay. Councilwoman Nunn.
Yep, thing or two here. The Settler Wind Farm, the siting permit is moving forward. An interesting note is of the 8 requests for impact funding, 4 of the 8 are from Natrona County. Evansville, Mills, Natrona County, and Casper. We pretty much know that this project will move forward regardless of our local concerns for possible impact, but if they want to give away money, may Glenrock and Commerce County get their fair share. Actual hearing for rewarding impact funds, yikes, will start at 1 p.m. September 17 at the Ruth James Conference Center located by the Pioneer Museum in Douglas. It is a very public hearing with a virtual link available. New information signs. Hit it, Lyle.
I forgot I had to get you up there, Marty.
Oh, gosh. All right, here we go. The Main Street Group, with assistance from the Converse County Tourism Board, has placed 2-sided information signs along Al's Walking Path and in Kimball Park. These signs feature the Higgins Hotel, Coal Creek Train Wreck, Deer Creek Station, Rock in the Glen, the Buffalo Jump, the Mormon Trail, Brigham Young Mail Station, the Platte River Crossing, and the Immigrant Trail. What a special way to honor and respect our past. Many thanks to the many hours of research, preparation, and planning that went into that project. That's really a nice addition to our community. And on a not-so-happy note, we do have young people from our community deployed in the Middle East right now, and who knows for how long. Thoughts and prayers for these young people and their families.
Done?
Done.
Okay.
Well said, Margaret. I don't have any reports.
That solves that. Councilwoman Collins.
Chief Felton and I went to Douglas and met with the county commissioners briefly to let them hear about some of our long-range goals for improving the, I want to say dog pound, and that's not appropriate, the Animal Control Center. And I'll let Coulter say anything he wants about it. The meeting went very well. We didn't ask for anything. We just gave him a heads up, so.
Okay. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay. Tammy, clerk.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I attended the Employers Council HR Institute in Denver last week on Thursday and Friday, and it was excellent. It was very good. had a lot of good classes on workplace investigations, AI, the use of AI in the workplace, scheduling and flexibility, compensation and benefits, and several other classes. So I appreciate being able to attend that. I'm supposed to be at WAMCAT this week. I have some things going on, so I'll be probably hitting that sporadically. I'll be here some, there some. But otherwise, just a reminder that we have our next work session next Monday, the 16th, at 5. That's all I have.
Okay. Kelly, treasurer.
Evening, Mayor and Council. I don't have a whole lot. We'll be attending WAMCAT this week. Pretty full schedule, Tuesday through Thursday, and then I plan on being here Friday. There's a half day up there, but I'll be needing to catch up back here. So that's about all I have.
Okay. Anybody hear from John?
John Funk. He's on vacation this week.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he's on vacation. And I'm sure Bill didn't want to come in, so we're good.
Might not have known.
Well,
Might not have known about it. So.
Well, you pretty much had to twist Bill's arm in the first place. So. We'll move on to Lyle, building inspector.
Evening, Mayor and Council. 92 building permits so far. Car wash is going well. The walking path is getting tied in to the existing road. So that's going to be wider, but it's also going to be tied into the road. The culvert got installed. That looks pretty good.
The walking path is going to be concrete, 5-foot concrete sidewalk alongside the roadway. I found that out Friday.
I did not know that.
Yep, I didn't either, but I found that out.
Okay, cool. Well, that might be good. It might give it a little distance.
There's some distance between that and the edge of the roadway, so.
Eastgate, that's really looking nice. You guys have been inside.
That's nice.
Looks pretty good. Big improvement. The golf course came in, got a permit today to tear down the clubhouse, starting on the 16th. They're working on new construction plans, and they're going to get submitted to the State Fire Marshal for review since they got a full kitchen. So that will come back. We'll see how that goes. The old house across from Public Works is getting ready to come down as well. We bought that land across from Public Works. That little house on there is going to get tore down. So that's going good. Big ups. Congrats to John and the crew. Got the new flagpole up. If everybody looked at that, that looks nice. My new phone came in today, so that's good. I'm still trying to recover everything. The Metal Arc Edition #2, those lots that got sold, that went through.
Okay.
So that's a done deal. Post office railing, that project has been forever, going back and forth. They finally got a contractor assigned to the repairs, and he backed out. So they're back to getting a contractor to accept the project. So that's still in the works, and that's all I got.
Chevy.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm working on a UW tailgate game with UNIYO, so we are just trying to work out what date that we can get everything together. So hopefully we'll have that soon. They're looking at the date of September 21st, or I believe it's October 19th. So we're trying to get that date concreted down so we can get that UW tailgate game advertised and on the way. Also, I've been just working on some pool certifications and getting some training with the whole Vortex system, and going to have Public Works in on that with me too. So since not a lot of us were there when everything was installed with the original, we're just going to get some training on it so we can kind of go forward and we weren't running around like the summer. So, and then just working on those certifications. Also, I'm working already on next year, so getting that planned out, getting that ready, getting a whole new sponsorship packet, and getting that ready to roll and have that so we can get going for next year.
Did the knots get replaced on the railing?
No, the knots have not been replaced yet, so yes. Apparently someone decided to remove all the knots on the meeting room upstairs balcony, so it says do lean now instead of do not lean. So we're...
That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't...
Can I make a suggestion?
That's too much time on our hands.
Can we see
Yeah,
them?
I'll have to talk to Public Works because even
Yeah, 'cause
with
Public
painting
Works
that, they
should-
can still scratch it off because it is on that metal. But I will talk to them, and also thank you for reminding me. I have been working with Overhead Doors to get those slats replaced. So the slats are ordered to replace that door over the LED wall. So I've been working on that too.
Sure.
Don't we have cameras up there?
On the outside of on the outside of the balcony, but not in the meeting room itself. But on the balcony there is. Yeah.
Isn't that where it says do not rain? So we should, if we wanted to, we could pay
Just take
attention
like
to
one
it.
camera, stick in there.
What's that?
Just put one camera in there, take care
I
of
think
that.
there's one
Yeah,
out
there is on the
already
balcony.
is, so
Yeah.
we should be able to catch him next time. Or if we get bored, we'll just sit and look through some videos.
Investigating,
We can't have anything nice.
We could certainly look at it.
because it is a vandalism.
I just asked. I didn't mean to start a whole
No, no worries.
No, it's
Explosion.
good.
We don't need, that rail's pretty tight, but I'd hate to have that or part of that glass system, that heavy glass system come off there. That'd be a disaster, so.
Especially if they thought we were telling them to lean on it.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on to Police Chief Colter Felton. We don't have any questions for the city attorney this evening.
I mean, I thought I'd give it a shot.
I can pretend to be Mr. Felton tonight.
I've got my notes here. Evening, Mayor and Council. It's been a busy couple of weeks. We took part in an active shooter training. We used the elementary school a few weeks ago. That was great. We had the Highway Patrol take part, the Fire Department, Evansville PD actually sent a couple of officers, as well as the ambulance service. So it was a really great training. It's always good to bring everybody together for those. So kind of wanted to thank them for their attendance. We sent 2 officers to a de-escalation and search and seizure update class in Casper. I forget which week that was. Last week, I believe. And we've been preparing for a swift water rescue training we're doing with the Sheriff's Office tomorrow, actually. We're going to send most of the officers over there because, you know, in the event of something happening in the water, we generally are the closest group to respond. So I figured it's important to give some proper training with the search and rescue team so that we make sure we're all on the same page with that as well. So they'll be doing that at the pool tomorrow if you see a bunch of extra cop cars over there. We're also preparing for the Demolition Derby and Fall Fest. Not sure if I'm excited or a little bit concerned, but it's coming. So we're trying to prepare for that. Going to have a couple extra officers out just in case. We don't really know what to expect with it. So just trying to be prepared for anything. And then the 18th will be the homecoming parade. So actually I was just speaking with Mr. Hopper a little bit about that. We're trying to make preparations for that event. It's always a fun one. So if anyone's free on the evening of the 18th, there's usually hot dogs and brisket and all those kinds of things. Swing over there. Outside of that, it's just the usual break fix. Number of cases going on right now. Got to come out over the weekend to help out, and I'm tired.
Coulter, have you heard of any remembrance ceremonies for Wednesday?
I have not. No. But sometimes I am the last to know.
No, that's usually me.
Yeah, well,
Maybe you're
right before you
standing
then.
right
Yeah.
in front of me.
Yeah, and I guess I would add that Councilwoman Colling and I did attend the County Commissioners meeting to speak with them a little bit about the dog pound. So we got some great ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, without any questions.
Any other questions for Colter? If not, we'll move on to items from the floor. Is there any items from the floor this evening? Not seeing anybody to rush
I
up to
think
the
Mr.
podium. Oh,
yeah.
yeah, there we go. Don't be shy. Jump.
I wasn't sure of the terminology, if you were going to ask for public comment or if items from the floor just meant the officials.
No.
So I'm Patrick Gary. I teach at the high school, and I also serve as the student council advisor. And as Chief Felton said, we are planning for homecoming next week at the high school. We've got the dress-up days all figured out. All the kids, I think, are fairly excited. But you know, as Chief Felton said, the highlight of the week is the homecoming parade. The evening of Wednesday, the 18th, starting at the Rock in the Glen at 6 o'clock that evening, and going all the way through town to the high school. So Chief Felton has agreed, as in the past, to provide some traffic control and make sure that the kids are safe as we're riding through town on the floats. Apparently the sophomores have a couple of boys with horses they want to ride alongside the float. Chief Felton thinks we can probably figure out a way to do that safely, but I'll make sure that the kids are aware of some additional restrictions safety-wise if that's the direction they want to go. We do have approval from YDOT as far as special events, as long as the Glen Rock PD agrees to provide the traffic control. So I've got a YDOT permit to close off traffic during that period, 6 to 6:30, and then after the parade is through to reopen. Any questions? Just really wanted to make everyone aware.
Just out of curiosity, what are your dress days going to feature?
So the theme of the week is going to be We Got the Beat, and it's sort of like a music theme. And so the kids picked a song for each day. So Monday is going to be Should Have Been a Cowboy. Dress Western, right? Break out your, boots and spurs and, your biggest belt buckle. Tuesday is Party in the USA, wear red, white, and blue. Wednesday is Thrift Shop, which is like a mismatch. I'm looking forward to seeing lots of clashing colors on Wednesday. And then Thursday, We Are the Champions, wear your purple, wear all your herder gear.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I think it should be good. The kids really, I think, were pretty excited about that sort of organizing theme.
Are you going to allow them to play music to fit the theme in the halls?
We probably will.
I would imagine so. We certainly have in the past. Yeah, I would guess so. So Monday, we'll probably have all kinds of country music lined out, and Tuesday, patriotic. They certainly have a selection to choose from. So I would guess so.
Exciting, very good.
Yeah, it should be fun. It's always exciting. Homecoming is sort of one of the highlights of the year for the kids, I think. So, should be good.
Okay. Thank you for coming in and updating us.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good week for the kids.
Yep, should be good. Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other items from the floor? Come on up, Ken.
Mayor and council members, I
got to tell us your name.
Ken Walker, in case nobody knows. Somebody that might not. I've been concerned about a safety issue, a public safety issue, and I finally got off my duff and found some time to, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words, so you're going to get 12,000 words. I apologize, Tammy, she didn't get one.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Front page, you can see this has to do with 4th Street, which is a couple of blocks from where I live, and Center Street. Page 2 shows the beginnings of the issue that I'm going to talk about, and coming upon the crosswalk for the bike and walking path. My issue is there is not enough visual sight available until you get right on top of that path to see if there's anybody on the path, and I'm particularly worried about some kid on these electric scooters because they move quickly. And by the time you can see them, I can guarantee you there's going to be a kid splattered on the ground. There have been a couple of people say, well, have the kids stop, push a button for the crosswalk. Electronics fail, as we can tell by the speed limit sign coming in Glenrock. It craters every once in a while. It's doing better, but electronics out in the rain is never a good idea, and there's nothing better than direct line of sight. As I drove up to the crosswalk, you can see where I got closer, but basically all you can see past that wall is the tail end of where that pickup is. Picture number 4, just before I started so I couldn't see the crosswalk, I stopped and took a picture there, and you can see a little more of the crosswalk and in relationship to where that pickup was at on the previous page. And if you notice, the sun was starting to pick up on the right-hand side of my car windshield. And as I got closer to the crosswalk, that got worse, as you can see on the next page. But you still can't see very far down the pathway. Page 6. Okay, now I'm covering the crosswalk with my mirror, or my windshield, is all I can see out there. And there still isn't much on that crosswalk to view. And you can see some of the rocks starting to appear down there that weren't in the last photo. Picture 7 is where I stopped and got out to take a picture of where my car was at in relationship to viewing that whole path going west and where my car was from the stop sign in the middle of the road. Picture number 8 is just a little bit different angle from that, more back toward where I would be sitting in the car, but not quite. So you can see that that's cutting off a lot of the view there. Picture 9 through 12 happens to be the second day because the pictures did not turn out exactly like I was hoping they would, so I went back, and you can tell by the cloud cover is different. But the second day of photos shows my front bumper pretty close to being even with that wall. And page 10 shows the view through my car, and just past the wall there are some boulders on next to the bike path. Well, if you turn back to page 9, I've got a red mark from where those boulders are at to the end of that wall. There isn't a lot of foot space in between there. Kids that are running or people walking or whatever are probably pretty safe, but kids on those scooters or bicycles, no. I follow a lot of people down that street, and I have been honked at a couple of times and given the high five, missing 4 fingers, because I almost stop at that crosswalk so I can see. Last thing I want to do is run over a kid, whether I'm in the right because I'm at the crosswalk first or whether they are. It doesn't make any difference. So that takes care of page 10. Page 11 is where I put the bumper on the crosswalk. And that gives a considerably better view, but I can guarantee you, if there's a high school kid running cross country, you're not going to get stopped at 25 miles an hour. And that's what most people are traveling when I follow them down 4th Street to come south. Page 12 gives you a little bit better view from where my bumper is on the crosswalk to how far you can actually see down there, which is pretty good. But it's not good enough, because I'm the only one that almost stops at that place, reiterating that I don't want to run over some kid. And my buddy happened to almost hit a lady who was jogging with her baby buggy, or whatever the three-wheeled jobbies are, because the post on his driver's side was just perfect timing. And he didn't see them until he saw a corner of the buggy in the crosswalk. And he slammed on the brakes. And she kept right on jogging and gave him a dirty look and kept going. I mean, that was coming from the left-hand side. And there's a lot of room to see people from that side. So our vehicles can be a major issue with something like that. But my biggest concern is having that wall so far toward the 4th Street. I'm amazed that there hasn't been some kid hurt or worse this summer. And I think the only reason it kind of saved our butts is because of the heat. Kids were inside. Kids don't go outside anyway for the most part. Well, they were more inside because of the heat. You know, playing the video games and whatnot where it's cooler, which makes more sense to me why there hadn't been a lot of traffic on that path. But there's going to be eventually.
There's a lot of traffic on the path, Ken. I live less than half a block from the pathway now, and it's busy all the time.
Okay.
And
You live in town?
And the pathway was done on a TAP grant, which is a Wyoming DOT grant. And everything we did there, and the signs in the middle of the street met all the regulations of the Wyoming Department of Transportation. I guess we could put a stop sign on both sides of it on every street that it crosses from here to the high school, and then we'll see how much we get our ass chewed for too many stop signs.
But Bruce, every one of those crosswalks isn't
Well,
a
if
problem.
people,
It's this one.
It doesn't matter, Ken. People don't pay attention to the stop signs, and don't pay attention to the one that says stop for people in the crosswalk.
That's true. But if the first section of that wall was gone, everybody would have a better chance of seeing some movement from a kid on a bicycle or the little electric scooters. Right now, there is no chance to see one of those kids. None.
I will comment too. I ride my bicycle on the path, and there's an issue where they park the bus for the Boys and Girls Club coming down there. You can't see traffic coming down 6th Street itself, and coming up to that wall for me with my bicycle to look for clearance, you know, to see if there's anything. There is, but there's 2 kids that ride a little pink scooter, and I almost hit them the other day because they ran right out in front of me, and that was coming from the other direction.
We're starting to have a lot of trouble with the kids running those electric bicycles really fast and not paying any attention, just scooting through town.
They aren't, and they make the assumption that everybody's going to stop because that sign says yield for somebody in the crosswalk, but they're not even looking.
Well, I'm happy to have Public Works put a stop sign on both sides of the pathway on every street from 9th Street to
Well, I think it needs to be on the
clear out to the high school.
On the path, they're supposed to stop, not the traffic.
One time I thought we had little stop signs at each intersection.
Farther out, I know on
We do.
Road,
We do out farther.
on that way out there, the stop signs are for the people on the path.
Maybe something telling them, you know, caution, cross traffic or something as they're coming up.
I can talk with John and them about putting a few more along the pathway for people walking the path to look a little more, but I don't know what we're going to do. Our setbacks are met DOT standards for our wall and everything else for our pathway system, so.
That wall was put in, that was a concern of ours, that we didn't want to get out too far.
So our setbacks
we put it back as far legally as before we could.
Legally can get somebody killed.
I'm
That's all I'm saying. I don't care where that wall is. It's in the wrong spot to end because you can't see anybody. Take these pictures with you and drive down 4th Street coming south. See how far you get at 25 mile an hour before you can see anything. And then do it again at 5 miles an hour. You're going to be out there in the crosswalk before you can see it.
Yeah.
Well, do notice on this one picture on page 7, it says no motor vehicles. If they're not going to read and obey that sign, why don't they read and obey any other sign?
Exactly. Kids aren't going to pay attention. They just know that
Perhaps
we, as drivers, are supposed to stop.
That issue.
We will.
And that's,
We'll address that stuff.
but
I can address that with Public Works about some other signs out there for that, but I hate to put stop signs on every street on both sides to make everybody
and
stop.
I agree.
But I don't,
But like I said,
yeah, the
every
last thing we want is
street
a kid in our
crossing
town
is
to ever
not an
get
issue.
killed by a
It's-
vehicle on a crosswalk, but
Yeah.
we've had kids get hit up by the middle school and getting out of a vehicle and running across the street in the middle of the block too.
Yeah.
So I don't know we can do every what if we want to and still have it happen.
I know.
The next couple work sessions, we can talk about some options, because I think that there are some options, whether it's
Yeah, I think,
signage or
it'd be some,
enforcing the
a
no
few more at
motorized
the intersections
vehicles.
that for a little sign on the pathway that says stop it from both ways crossing the road. So at least the people on the pathway will stop, but the kids running these new
Yeah.
electric bicycles are messing with them, and I mean, they're running 30 mile an hour and they don't
That
look,
might
they
be something
just,
we
they
need
just
to
blow
address.
through. So,
I've been hitting
so one of them eventually is going to get hit somewhere.
Well, maybe we have a police officer in our school systems. Maybe he could offer some intense training to children, pointing out the dangers, not
luck
only
with
to
that.
them, but to
Sure.
anyone out there.
Well, that would
might have-
probably help, but that would have to be an ongoing thing.
Well, I guess if it has to be ongoing, it's better than a dead kid.
Yeah, but my proposal is move that segment wall back to the next segment, and that would give everybody a chance to see motion coming from there. It's still going to be
Another
awfully
8
quick.
foot,
for
I don't
those
think another
little-
8 foot section taken off of that's going to make any difference at intersection, because I've watched those people drive up through there. They're oblivious. They're looking up the street. They don't look side to side.
I know.
Why they don't pay attention to it. They know our pathway's there. The sign's in the middle of the street. What else do we do?
Flashing lights.
Yeah.
One comment on what you made on the Boys and Girls Club bus. I will second that. It's completely obstructs that whole street.
We need a different place for them to
Yeah.
park their bus.
I addressed that with Public Works.
It's terrible.
Try and put the bus, so that they don't park it on the north side, they have to park it on the south side of that intersection. And that way you don't have
Okay.
a blind spot when the bus is sitting there on the north.
Yeah, you can't see anything.
A
Even
lot of
going
times they
5 miles
park it
an
in
hour.
there on the Homax lot, so it's not on 6th Street. There's enough with the, and and the other thing, our school buses stopping to drop kids off there are supposed to pull in, because we've made the pull in right there. Instead of pulling into the pull in, they stop in the middle of the street, and there's a stop sign there that's turned for the pull in, and we get numerous complaints. I think they got to stop because people see it coming down the street and stop there on 6th Street. So
Yeah, they're not doing what they're supposed to.
I've had 2 people stop directly in front of me, and I almost rear-ended them because of that sign.
it's for the pullout. For Boys and Girls Club, it was that was trying to meet safety for them and kids getting off there with the school district cooperating with taking kids to the Boys and Girls Club after school, which has worked out well. But it would be nice if they would pull in. We work hard at keeping, even during the wintertime, keeping all that plowed out for them so they can get off that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we just need to pay attention to our kids. But I don't know how many signs we put in there.
Thanks for for listening to my
We're going to talk
harping,
about it.
but
Thank you for your concern for children.
sure, I'm just concerned that somebody's going to get really hurt or killed there. I don't want it to be me. That's why I'll accept a 5-finger discount from people that are irritated because I almost stopped there. But anyway, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Ken. Any other items from the floor? I guess we'll move on to old business, which is third reading on the town of Glen Rock's ordinance number 748, an ordinance amending Glen Rock Town Code, Chapter 31, Section 31.01.040, 31.03.010, 31.03.050, 31.03070, and 31.03.090, and 31.303.80, whereas the governing body of the town of Glen Rock wishes to address issue of tiny homes and accessory units within town limits. Therefore, it is ordained by the council of the town of Glen Rock and state of Wyoming as follows: an amendment, the section amendment. Everybody's read that, this third reading, so is there, I'm not going to read it, it's too many pages. I haven't read it yet through a meeting, but I'm not going to. Is there a motion?
I move we pass ordinance 748 on the third reading, so we don't have to read it again.
Correct. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved in
Go ahead,
second.
John.
It's been moved and seconded by somebody. Is there any discussion on this again, or what, before we vote?
Can you scroll it down a little bit? 'Cause I haven't seen these.
It goes for pages, like 40.
31.
There's 40 pages of it, Sue.
What's it basically saying?
It's just right now in town, the AUDs, and I think the tiny homes are what, in the mobile home resident districts
That's correct.
of the town, not in R1? Or
And its definitions of what.
definitions what they are.
So the vast majority of it hasn't changed.
It's basically saying where you can put a tiny home, which is a mobile home district, or ADUs in a mobile home district, and then you can put a tiny home or an ADU
On a resident?
village into general business.
Right.
That's what it says.
I couldn't hear most of what you said. So you're saying a tiny home village can go in general business district?
Or a mobile home park.
Mhm.
Mobile home or general business.
So this is just a separation.
It's just adding some wording to that ordinance for the town, where they can,
In ordinance now covering tiny homes or ADUs.
and there was a lot of opposition to having them be able to be built in R1 and R2, MUR, so that's why that's being added. Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Guess we're moving on to new business. And the first order of new business is resolution number 2024-15. Resolution to amend the amount of tree grant, whereas the town of Glen Rock offers a tree grant up to $500 for removal of trees that meet certain criteria, and whereas the Glen Rock Town Council discussed that and would like to increase the amount to $1,000 due to high cost of tree removal. Be it further resolved that the town of Glen Rock Council agrees to increase the amount of grant to 50% of cost up to $1,000. Passed and approved and adopted this 9th day of September 2024. Is there a motion?
I move we pass resolution 2024-15, changing the amount of tree grant. That's very expensive.
I second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Where's the money? Is there a line item in our budget for that?
Yes, there's a line item in that budget. I think there's what, like 50 grand in there?
Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna go back to the people that already done their trees?
I don't know if we're going to retroactive anything, Paul.
Well, I don't know if it sounds fair.
It just came up like at the last council workshop, because we've been starting to get so many,
Bids that were high.
tree grant, tree applications, and people having trouble with trees this year and falling down, so people were asking, so we brought it up in a deal, and that's very expensive to get trees taken down. It's not cheap. None of those arborists do it for free, that's for sure. So, is there any other discussion? If not, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. And next order of business is a tree grant application by Tyler Walker, and his address is 218 South 6th Street, Glen Rock. There's a large cottonwood tree in his front yard that's needing some trimming, and you have the application in front of you. It does have two bids on taking it down, and the low bid is actually, not taking it down, but just trimming it up. It was able to get two bids. The high bid was $1,800, the low bid is $1,500. So, is there a motion to approve this tree grant application for Tyler Walker?
I move that we approve the tree grant for Tyler Walker.
Motion, is there a second?
A second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed by nay, motion carries.
So I should ask this. I apologize. So he'll get 750 since that's 50%.
Yeah. Because, yeah, that one's just a trimming. It's not a total cut down. I don't know what they charge him to cut that, but it'd be pretty expensive. That's a big cottonwood tree, so that's not too bad for trimming it up, I don't think.
In his front yard.
Yeah, it's right on the front yard, and that's up in that cul-de-sac on 6th Street across Birch in there. It's in front of that house. He needs some trimming up, so he's gotten. I'm amazed that the bids came in as low as they did, because there's going to be a lot of climbing to clean that one out. So. Deal doesn't want to go past the pictures. That's interesting. So I'm going back to the first page, just a second. I know.
Okay.
But I would just as soon be on the page. Our last order of business under new business is bills and claims. Is there a motion to pay our bills and claims?
I move.
Been moved. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Any discussions on bills and claims? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. If there's nothing else to come before the council meeting from council or from the audience, I would ask somebody to entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn the meeting.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Meeting adjourned. Maybe. I'm going home and grill up some halibut.
Yeah.